Welcome to Hacking Your Leadership. I'm Chris.
And I'm Lorenzo.
And welcome to this week's Thoughtful Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Hacking Your Leadership and leave us a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to right now. On this Thoughtful Thursday, I want to talk about the idea of offsites. We all have different moments in our career where we've met with our teams not at the place we normally come to work, and that is on the rise because of a work from home environment. When your team no longer gets together at the office every single day, there becomes more of a need to find times, to schedule time for everybody to get together, and this is leading to a rise in offsite meetings. And I think that the interesting part about this is it really calls out the importance of having these offsites, even in environments where you are not work from home. And so I think about times when I've been in an office all the time, and what the inherent kind of assumptions are, or the ways that I interact with people when I'm in an office, when I'm in my office, whatever that is, and how other people might react to that too. And there's a lot of baggage that comes with it. I don't mean good or bad, just it is what it is. And going to an offsite kind of eliminates all that, and kind of lets people just be who they are without the home field advantage, so to speak. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I agree. I've quite enjoyed just kind of offsites, just because I think it's like in anywhere, like creative space and in places to go, and like you get to experience something together for the first time maybe, and just be somewhere that doesn't have the normal distractions or the comforts of spaces like whether it's offices or even like at work from home via the virtual world. I just like that idea of being able to spend time and engage in a place that everybody's experiencing together. That's just not your normal day-to-day kind of background or surroundings. And I think that's what really is super helpful in driving innovative thoughts and ideas. And you take inspiration from different things that are around you, which is why if you look historically at a lot of the well-known leaders and innovative leaders and those that have established just kind of the norms of leadership, so many of them will reference offsites and events where they take teams out and they spend time engaging. Like there's just a lot of that historically that I think has shown up really, really well. So I look forward to that return. I saw somebody post the other day that they were doing some type of a meeting for their company in Vegas, and I was like, oh, like this is like it's starting to feel again like people are getting out and spending time together, which I think is going to be great.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting that you mentioned the going to Vegas for an offsite. I've done that before. I've been in organizations where we had a kind of a team, kind of a group meeting that was like over 3 or 4 days, and everybody flew in from around the country and went to Las Vegas. And it could just be if your office is in downtown of whatever the city is that you all live in, and now everybody's work from home, so you find a restaurant or a hotel meeting room or whatever it is, as opposed to saying, hey, everybody come to the office. It might feel like, well, we have an office, let's just all meet at the office. But there's something different. There's something that happens when you say we're not meeting at the office, we're meeting at this offsite, this place that is different than the office. And on the negative side of things, it can lead to people saying, oh, I don't have to put my mask on, my leadership mask on, or my employee mask on today. I get to just really let it all hang out because we're not at the office. That's the wrong way to go about it. This isn't about you can throw caution to the wind and violate company policy and do things that wouldn't fly at an office. If it wouldn't fly at your office, it wouldn't fly at the offsite either. It's about making sure that the baggage, for lack of a better word, and baggage can be good or bad, but the baggage that we bring with us for an office environment, or the baggage that we pick up when we walk in the door of the office environment that just says that there's a relationship structure that exists between you and this place, and between you and the people who work alongside you at this place, and taking that away so that all you're left with is the people, it actually makes an impact. And so, Lorenzo, what I want to ask you is, have you ever been in a situation where something happened on your team because and in hindsight you're thinking this never would have happened if we weren't at an offsite. The same people are here, but if we were at the office instead of at the offsite, this kind of breakthrough moment or this kind of like really cool thing would never have happened. So I want to ask you that, but first I want to give it up to a word from one of our sponsors. All right, Lorenzo, tell me about a time when you had kind of like a breakthrough moment or something that really validated the process of being at an offsite, when the same people could have been in the office, but you wouldn't have had the same kind of outcomes.
I can think of a lot of different examples of just times and connection and network. And I always talk about the importance of offsites is like in the kind of the nuance in between the meetings and stuff, and the breaks and the dinners that happen, and just socializing with people in a different place and in a different way, and socializing with different people. I think there's just so many great examples, but it's so funny that we're talking about this because literally I was having this conversation a day or two ago about a leader who has done some amazing work and has really grown in confidence over the years and has really found their voice in a lot of places. And somebody had mentioned and referenced an offsite event where there was dialogue that happened after the first break. And they said, look, I know that you have some great thoughts here and that you've shared some really, really great things with our team. You need to speak up and share this with the larger team that are people. And I know people you just met today, and I know this might be something new and different for you, but like you need to speak up and step in and share here because you've done some amazing work. That person ended up sharing. That person ended up getting a lot of kudos, a lot of recognition, and it was just a jump-off point of having the confidence now to say, yes, like I am doing good work. I have some tremendous perspectives, and I can share at this level and with people that I just met. And as a result of that recognition and the conversations that happened then after that, this person kind of just jumped off of that springboard and continued to share and continue to provide perspective to others in this particular example. And it was just it's career making. It's just something like these things happen and they happen for real. And I've experienced it and ran across people by accident at an offsite, and somebody asked me a question about something and we get into a different conversation, and that led to a breakthrough in development in our business and in self-reflection. So like I think that I've always enjoyed it. I took a note of things not to do that you mentioned earlier. I've been to some pretty crazy offsites,
right?
So
Me too.
I will take that as a note to be more conscious of that. I might not follow that note, but I will definitely take the note because they're just fun. Like offsites are a good time, I think, and I've always enjoyed them, and I've had a lot of breakthrough moments at those.
Yeah. I think back, one of the people that we're big fans of on the show is Simon Sinek. And I think back to one of the things that he said in a video a long time ago about why he doesn't allow cell phones in meetings is because he wants people to have those little interactions they would have instead of just sitting there on their phone waiting for the meeting to start. You want those interactions to happen because that's where trust is built. And so, kind of to extrapolate that out, what an offsite does is it puts you in a situation where you can't get other work done. You're there for a purpose, for whatever that offsite is. And so if I look at, like, let's say that we were at an office and it was just 8 hours of meetings. And so you had breaks and lunches or whatever in the middle of those meetings, or time where people got to like leave the meeting because of whatever the breakout it was or the break session was. What people typically do is they go sit at their desk, they get other work done that is not related to what the offsite is. But if you're at a hotel or at a ballroom or at whatever the offsite is, there is no other work to do. It's just what you're there for. And in the absence of the work that you're there for, what happens are these little conversations, these little interactions that happen that build trust among people. And so the breakthrough isn't necessarily in something that can be written down and say, look at the breakthrough we came to because we were at an offsite. The breakthrough might not be noticed for several weeks or months afterwards, but what happens is the relationships are strengthened by the people who were there because of the camaraderie that comes out of having these interactions, having these conversations that kind of ground us in the humanistic part of our relationships with each other. And it says we're not just here as employees who happen to work for the same company. We're here and we're getting work done. But then once that work part is done, we're still here together. And normally we'd go home. We go home and be with our families, and we, count the moments before we clock out and leave and go be with our families. But when we're here, if we're going to be here anyway, we might as well take advantage of the fact that we're all human beings. We all have some of the same hopes and goals and dreams. Let's take advantage of that and get to know each other a little bit better. I think that's where those increases in trust happen. And then when you start working together back at the office or wherever it is that you go to after the offsite is over, that increased level of trust with those people is what leads to being able to get done possibly some of the best work of your life or your career.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, it brings us to the end of this episode. This is Hacking Your Leadership. I'm Lorenzo.
And I'm Chris.
And have a great day.